Today we're going into the 1, 2, 3's of healing. And this was a profound message and teaching of the one-day healing retreat that I did on Saturday. And I don't typically bring this into, my Simply Bees or my talks of the week, but this was just so profound that I really wanted to share it outward. And I just want to say, I gain a lot of knowledge, of course, from all of my many healing mentors and my spiritual teachers. But what I experienced on Saturday, I have to say, was guided by spirit. It was so enlightening for me, as well as the participants of the healing retreat, that I really want to share it. So there are 3 fundamental components of healing. Okay, the 1, 2, 3's of healing. One is belief. Okay, believing that healing is possible. Number 2, know that you are worthy and deserving of any healing. And number 3, you got to truly want and desire to heal. Okay, so those are the 1, 2, 3's of healing. So let's dive into these concepts. Okay, this is you're gonna get the hoedown of like 10 or 15 minutes of a beautiful, beautiful day spent with beautiful souls. Number 1, okay, belief. You got to believe that healing is possible for you. If you don't think or believe that you can or will heal, then you can't. You won't, plain and simply. If you don't believe that you can heal, how can you? So look at it this way. You get a diagnosis, right? A doctor gives you a diagnosis, and I mean, doctors are just doing their job. Amazing doctors, right? They are doing their job. They diagnose you, they do the tests, they've got to give you the diagnosis. And in their knowledge and in what they have seen, it through other patients, they are giving you the information and the knowledge that you need with this diagnosis. And many diagnoses could be grim. You can't heal from this. You either have to learn to deal with it or learn to, or accept what's going to happen. Okay? And acceptance is a big part of this as well. But if you have been told that you cannot heal from this, it's unhealable, that is now your belief, and you can't or won't heal from it. Right? So that's just an example of that. But if you want to heal from something, anything, you need to believe that it's possible. So a reflection of I can't, right? I can't heal from this because I've been told that that's impossible. So you either look at it as impossible, or you start to reflect on that and go, what if I could then believe it was possible for me to heal? Okay, so that's number 1. And yes, there's some work that goes along with this if you need to shift your thinking or your believing. Okay, but number 1, if you're going to heal from anything, you have to believe that it is possible. Okay, number 2, you need to know that you are worthy and deserving of healing. If you don't know your worth, plain and simply, again, if you don't know your worth, you will not think or believe that you are worthy or deserving of any healing. And we all heard those, instantaneous healings, or people that heal from, something that they shouldn't have been able to heal from. And we just think, well, they're special, right? That's a special circumstance. They must be special, or there must have been something, that happened for them. But we don't need to be special to heal. Anybody who has healed from something that they were told was impossible to heal from are no special than you are. Okay? So in that understanding, we get to understand that we are just as worthy and deserving of healing. Healing has no limits. Okay? Healing has no limits. Everyone can heal from anything. But you got to believe it's possible, and you have to know that you're deserving of it. And so many people are like, well, this person is healing or needs healing more than I do. Or, this person, why would I, expect that I'm going to be healed when this person needs it so much more than me? There are no limits to healing. And in fact, when you know your worth and you allow, again, that belief to come in and you know your worth, you get to be an example and hope for someone else. There's no limit just because you decide, yes, it's possible and I'm worthy of it and I get healed. You're not taking that healing away from anybody else. In fact, you are adding hope and showing that it is possible. And the healing is unlimited. If the person who needs it in your mind more than you can also believe it's possible and are worthy of it, well, they get it too. There is no limit to healing. You just got to know it's possible and know that you're worth. So working on your own worthiness and know that you're deserving of healing or anything else that you want is number 2. And then the third one is you need to truly want it, truly desire to heal. And I know this might rub people the wrong way, but there are many people who don't truly want the healing. They might say, well, of course, I don't want to be sick. I don't want this injury. I don't want to be in pain. And so this is where, deeper reflection goes. Do you truly, truly want and desire it? Okay? Because sometimes people get things out of being sick or staying sick or being injured or remaining injured. And I can speak of this because this was me in my earlier days. I got something out of being sick. I got something out of it. And for me to heal meant that I wouldn't get that anymore. And that was a huge realization for me. And so, that's that inner reflection time. Really come into your heart and say, do I truly want a healing from this? Or what am I getting out of being sick or being injured? What am I getting out of it? Right? And the healing can be physical, it can be mental, it can be emotional. What am I getting out of holding on to this? We can be a victim. And victims, if we're stuck in that victim mentality, which is exactly where I was, you don't want to heal from that because you get something out of being a victim. I had to decide that I no longer wanted to be a victim. And then my healing began. Okay? But there's another component to wanting and desiring to healing. People are afraid of change. People don't like change. And healing requires change. You might have to look at things differently. You might have to think things differently. You might have to do things differently. And again, if the healing happens, yes, of course, your life changes. You're not going to get out of it what you were getting out of it before. Now, I'm going to take this change, right? Because change can be, again, change is scary. Most people are afraid of change, even if it means they can heal. The life they know and know is going to change, and that is scary. But I'm going to go back to number 2. If you know your worth, change becomes natural. It's not as scary. It's not as threatening as our, I'm going to say our ego mind looks at it. I don't want to change. It's scary. It's like stepping into the unknown. What does healing look like? What does healing actually mean for me? If I can let go of this, victim mentality, what does that mean? That's scary. It's the unknown. If you've been a victim of your illness or your disease or your injury or whatever it is, it's what you know. We got to be willing to let go of what we know and step into the unknown. And that is scary for a lot of people. But again, when you start to change your thinking and your thoughts and say, listen, I know healing is possible. And then you know your worth. If you truly know your worth, then change becomes natural. Those habits, patterns, behaviors that maybe you've spent your whole life trying to change about yourself, that maybe led to the injury or the illness of some sort, those habit, patterns, and behavior become easier to shift and to change when you know your worth. Okay? So this week, I want you to simply be reflective, because you cannot change what you're not willing to acknowledge. So simply be reflective. This week's reflection, I want you to truly consider these 3 healing components. And the reflection comes in going inward and being completely honest with yourself, which is going to shift and change the relationship with yourself. You can really, truly look at it and reflect on if you are actually ready to shift your thinking and your beliefs. Because then, if you are willing to shift your thinking and your belief, you will take action in the direction of change. And this is important, okay? Because again, I said it, change becomes much easier when you know your worth. But if you're like, I don't really have anything to heal from, this is important, because this is not just like healing of something physical or an illness. This is everything in your life. You can take these 3 components and anything that you want in this life, that job that you want, that financial security that you want, that better relationship with yourself or someone else, that peace that you're seeking, or that confidence that you're seeking, whatever it is, do you believe it is possible for you to have that? Do you know you are worthy and deserving of it? And do you truly, truly want and desire it? Right? What do you want the change that would come with it as you heal or seek that peace that you're truly wanting? Okay? So that's what this week is. It's a complete reflection week. And if you realize, yes, I want it, I want this change, I do want to start believing and know my worth, and you're like, but I'm not anywhere near there, then contact me. Go onto my website, wellnessdefined.ca. Go back on these talks, because they're all leading up to these 1, 2, 3's of healing from anything. Okay? So, my friends, have a wonderful, reflective week. Go inward. Consider these 3 components and be completely honest with yourself. Your life can shift. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.